You're listening to the Who is Christine Anyway podcast, season 2. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Who's Christine Anyway. Today I am here with Jesse Zuretti, who is not only a composer, a producer, amongst several other amazing things, which I'm sure most of you are aware, but he's also a good friend of mine and really fun. So thank you, Jesse, for coming.
It's my pleasure. Also, nobody knows who I am, so let's
Stop.
like
Nobody knows who I am.
Nobody knows who I am. There's most people who are going to hear this are going to be like, I don't know who this is. So let's.
Well, then you're going to become like a hot search on Google.
Yeah, girl. Yeah. Let's get those numbers up. Let's before we even start, I want to preface with something we were talking about earlier about Limp Bizkit. You were talking about, yes, they're amazing. I do want to point out that there's something very strange psychologically that's happened about Limp Bizkit and this kind of like resurgence of them. Like I had a screen name on Instant Messenger, LMPBZK0009. I was obsessed with them as a kid. I used to get made fun of by everybody for liking them, including much of the metal community for a long time, right? The thing that's weird is like I liked Limp Bizkit when it made sense, when I was a juvenile boy who was an idiot and thought like, Happy Gilmore was the funniest thing on the planet. And now adults who are in their 30s who didn't like Limp Bizkit when it first happened, like it now, and they see the value of it now. It's like, are you dumb? Like, did something happen as you got older? Like, did you hit your head or something? Like, why is it better to you as an adult when it's truly, because it's always been amazing. That's why. But people, they Barrel of Monkeys style, kind of like, hey, everybody shits on Nickelback and Creed and all these things. Nicolas Cage is hilarious, and everybody just like follows suit. And Limp Bizkit was one of those things. Now Limp Bizkit's cool, so everybody's talking about it. So I just wanted to start this podcast on the right foot by standing up for Limp Bizkit and telling all of the tourists of life who only like things when it's okay to like things, you're a fucking wiener. You're a wiener. You should have liked them all along. They were always good. The band is super talented. Fred Durst is hilarious.
I agree.
Yeah. The end.
I think it's super. I don't even think you need to sell it because
this is Shark Tank, right? What are we doing?
Sure.
Get Limp Bizkit on the market.
You are. They should have been back on the market. I think they're going to have an even bigger resurgence because it's one of those things that, like, as youth, when we heard it, it's like, okay, we're angry. And it's like, nice, da, 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 da. But now we're like 30s, 40s, like that era. I don't know, millennials. Everything's got a fucking name now. What millennials or whatever?
Yeah, you're supposed to be angry when you're 16, like I was.
Yeah, but now I'm pissed off with fucking eggs.
Yeah, well, everybody's mad about everything because you're being told to be mad about everything, so everybody's pissed. But everybody's sitting on social media getting angry about the same thing, and they're not actually like realizing, like, oh, look, I have
mob mentality.
Good. I got a $1,500 phone in my hand. I can answer every question in the world, and I can communicate with people on the other side of the planet instantaneously and send voice messages. And now my thoughts are getting summarized. I have so much to bitch about.
Do you watch the news when they put like that portal in New York City, like where you could like, it's like a screen, and then the other screen was in, I think it was like Ireland or the UK.
Yeah, I did see that. It was weird.
Why was that a thing? Was it just an artistic expression? Or was it like just to remind us that we're poor and we'll never go somewhere prettier?
It was a waste of money.
It got shut down quick because people were, going on there and being indecent.
Yeah, diarrhea shitting on the camera, jackass style.
God.
Where are those guys? We need more of that shit. I'm so sick of the fucking news.
Hey, listen, Steve-O is still like jamming. He's jamming. He's been sober and he does stand up often, I think.
Yeah, he's going around happening. He's like Jack, whatever that guy from that inspired Raging Bull. That guy like goes around and like tries, his wife like, would walk him around and like stand him up on stage and have him talk, and she has to like redirect him because he starts drifting off from all the trauma his head has had. That's Steve-O right now. It's like somebody's like parading him around like, yeah, go on there. And he's like, oh yeah, dude. And he's just talking. And it's like, dude, he's making no sense and his teeth are huge.
Did you? So I catch like random videos here and there. And he had a video, like apparently him and one of his friends or crewmates or whatever they are. They have a thing where, of course, now Steve O's older. He's trying to get his body fixed now that he's kind of gone nuts on it, and all these surgeries, like the busted bones and the plates and the whatever. And they have a contest about who can fight the anesthesia the longest.
Wow, that's good for you. Michael Jackson had a fun time with it.
Yeah. You're reigning champ.
Louise.
Reigning loser, really.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's really awful.
Who's Steve-O or Michael Jackson?
All of it. Like, really? Like,
Yes.
I'm thrilled for a nap. I'm not going to fight that shit.
You know what, though? Steve-O's pretty cool. He's actually, like, super smart, too. Isn't he from England originally? And his dad is, like, some dude.
I'm not quite sure. The part of him that I love the absolute most that really turned my perspective on him, which I don't want to say I had a bad perspective on him, but I was always like, oh, those guys from Jackass and all this other stuff. The part that really turned my perspective was like his journey to adopt Wendy and his work for animals, his philanthropy.
Oh, it's a good thing to do after swallowing a goldfish and then vomiting it back up.
Or butt chugging beer.
Hey, I believe that everybody should have a road to redemption. So I love that he went from being a full tilt knucklehead to trying to do good with his. And that's what everybody should do. You can be a full tilt dumb loser of a person who does stupid shit to get attention, and then if you get popular from it, do good stuff with it. That's an awesome thing to do.
And you can start by doing good stuff by liking Limp Bizkit.
You can like Limp Bizkit, but make sure you do good things for animals. They deserve it the most. I agree with that.
Like obviously I don't have a voice and like, all that other stuff. It's just that story was amazing. And he does do a lot of other work with shelters and stuff as he goes to towns, and like the amount of compassion that he has shown. And, I don't want to say like the growth of the person because I haven't sat down with him and stuff, but when you see how he's developed into a certain way, I mean, versus Bam Margera, it's like the, black and white, night and day, I agree with you. Somebody's propping him up probably or whatever. But at the same time, sometimes it's just sad to watch your friends go through hell. But like when Ryan Dunn had the accident, it really kind of defined each of those people.
Totally. That's a really kind of wake up moment.
Yeah. And how do you not have a wake up from that?
You couldn't have a near death experience with any of those guys because they do that all the time. So you needed an actual death experience to wake them up.
Oh God. I feel like that's the group of people I'd be screaming like, we're gonna die. And they're like, no, really, I've done this before. It's fine. Like it's just gonna bleed for a while.
It's only gonna hurt for a few seconds. Here I am. I'm a composer and I'm talking about all this shit, and I really have no authority on anything we're talking about.
I actually rather enjoy this because everybody, the composition is amazing. Like oh my God, your tenure is phenomenal. Your discography highlights are fantastic.
Thank you.
Binary Code was amazing. Is amazing. That kind of thing. It's one of those things that exists that, especially with you emphasizing the importance of authenticity and genuine connections in the music industry.
Yeah, and in any industry, just be good. I mean, tell people to be smart. Same thing. Be genuine. Wishing one.
Networking will get you indoors that degrees won't. I think I said that in a previous podcast too. It's one of those things where it's
degree in my shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was 14 when I started. I didn't even have I barely had lunch money.
I think you just have to care a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's, the right person, but you do good by that person. It's not
totally,
and sometimes that's led to turning down like some really good offers that have come across my desk. But I'm like, this is an amazing offer. This will pay my bills for 6 months, but I'm going to pass because I know that there's like a back end of this that I'm missing, or I don't believe in, what this is standing for or who this person is. So it sometimes it can have its ebb and flow, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But no, you and Brent have always been good people since day one. I actually sent Brent, I think I had some like Moon's Blood stuff left over, so I sent him off one because I don't think he ever got it.
I want to say I saw it.
It's being used as a coaster for Mountain Dew right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have under my coffee right now. That's exactly it. It's like Water March, but it's fine. It just makes it look like it's got like a solar flare. So
yeah, that's cool. It's better than what it was doing. It was just sitting there.
I collect trinkety shit like that, so I always appreciate stuff like that. Like, I think every NAM that I've gone to, I'm always just telling people, I'm like, I'll pick up a random pamphlet or a random anything and just be like, yeah, everybody just sign it or write something or like,
Yeah. Little memento.
yeah, I don't know why. I just think it's so neat to have that. And it can be, I don't want to say somebody who's obscure, but it can be anybody. It could just be anybody. And sometimes I love the creativity. Like I have a thing that I got from Jeremy Kroll that is hilarious. And it just sits in my little trinket collection.
That dude's a ball buster, right? Do I have the right person?
He is a ball buster. He's talented.
I like that. I like the iconoclast personalities in the music world because there's so little of it.
I think it's actually like a copy of his album, and he had opened it up or something along those lines, and it was like a picture from the scene of Anaconda or whatever, something like that. And there was like he had somehow changed the words to, hey, we got you this CD by fighting a giant snake in the woods into a pit. And it was like, it doesn't just say like, hey, here you go, have a great day, da da da. It's a great big story about how him and Ice Cube and Brett wrestled the snake to give me this CD. And I'm like, hell yeah.
What the
I like the weird shit.
This sounds so made up.
It's real though. I'm gonna now everyone's gonna be like, prove it. I'm like, great. Now I'm on SEO. But it's one of those things where I have all these collections of like little things that like.
That's cool. I love that.
Like fan art. I love fan art. I love when people like draw random things on napkins and they just give it to me, which sounds really weird. Oh my God, I am getting really weird. You thought you were weird by Limp Bizkit, and I'm just like, write my name on a napkin. Like
I never thought I was weird for Limp Bizkit. I thought I was a loser because I was a loser when I liked them. No.
Who the hell ever called you a loser for liking
If you're
Limp Bizkit as a child?
16, if you're 13 or whatever I was, 12, and you think you're not a loser, you're the biggest loser of them all. That's science.
Jinko jeans, ball chain necklaces.
No, I didn't do that, but it doesn't even matter. It's just that decision, it's like that choice. All losers, dude, they're all stupid. They're all dumb. Everybody's like, my kid's so smart. Yeah, no, they're not. No, they're not. I know you think but they're really dumb compared to a grown ass person who's been alive for 40 years.
I 100% agree. And it sounds crazy because I have kids, but, and I love my children. I tell them this all the time.
Sure they're lovely. I love them for you.
I love you're like, I love them secondarily. It's one of those things where it's like, when they start talking especially when I have to like kick into mom mode, I'm like, listen, I remember when I knew everything. I know fucking nothing.
Here you are.
Yeah, I'm like, let me be clear.
Here you are knowing everything now, right?
Yeah, but when you're that young, you swear you know. Like,
I know.
It's that level of confidence that's crazy. Like going to Montreal to work tour, completely breaking off from my friend group. Cell phones weren't a thing. How was I not on Nancy Grace or like an international like trade deal?
Well, you're probably shitting your pants. That's the real test. It's like you think this is why I'd be a bad parent because I'd have like a 15-year-old and he'd be like, oh, you're so smart. You've got it all figured out. And I'd literally just leave him for a couple of days. See how fucking smart. No, I would never do that. I'm just kidding. I couldn't. I care too much about my dogs to even think about that. Like I would never do that. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to prove how dumb a kid is, just leave him alone. See what happens. They're so needy.
They kind of are, and it's kind of. But when you hear the word dumb, people think automatic negative connotation. Like we're like, we hate children. It's like no, dumb as in like, I swear I doubt this was a good idea, and it's like let me reverse this. You just made sense in your head.
We were all once children is the thing. You can't have. There's not this like like I was born 38 years old. And I don't know what it's like to be a kid. It's like, no, we've all been there. So we all know what it's like being that age. And if you look back at yourself when you were 13 and you think that you were cool and you had it together and you had everything figured out, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. See, like as a teenager, it's funny is in like high school. So like I don't want to say I look normal now. I say normal. I look to my grandmother's standard now. When I was in high school, I had short black spiky hair and like faux hawk, and I looked like the dark haired girl from Tattoo. And my best friend had like bright red hair, so she looked like it was unintentional. And
Tattoo, what the hell is that?
I'll include a photo in a text thread for you.
So like, did the girl duo, the two girls?
Yes, but it wasn't intentional. She just her mom. They colored their hair red. It looked cute. And then
Russian?
me, I was forever cutting my hair and spiking my hair with Elmer's glue. And I was just like dark eyeliner. I looked like Fallout Boy's like aborted fucking merch guy. Like
Whoa, dude.
there was
Careful. Fallout Boy was he was almost aborted.
He fell out all right. There's
That's where he got his name. No, isn't it from The Simpsons?
I can't remember.
Yeah, Fallout Boy. I have a comic book.
Yes.
Actually
it
flamed.
was.
Yeah.
I used to watch The Simpsons every day at 4. You're right. Fall Out Boy was the comic.
Don't you hate when people do that? They ask a question when they already know? It's like, just have the courage to say that you're certain the information is what it is. I need to work on that.
I will have you know, my family is entirely passive aggressive, so you are well matched.
See, I'm not passive aggressive. I'm like full tilt aggressive, but in the nicest way possible.
But so yeah, my hair. So I would sometimes it'd be black. Most of the time it was like jet black. Sometimes I'd go blue black, and then like I was always cutting it. So I had this really kind of punk rocky edge looking to myself, and everybody there had like really. It was the Abercrombie and Fitch era. There was like a statement of look, and I was so like way out there. Maybe I had blue hair, maybe I want pink, maybe I want this. And it's so funny because now I'm an adult and I've got like just blonde normal. I don't say blonde normal hair. I've got just, the hair and just nothing too crazy. And they're all like, check out my hair. It's a unicorn fade. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
I went through all that bullying to be right.
Oh, yeah. I talk about this all the time. I used to use.
Fuck.
Not that I don't really give a fuck because I don't care about people all that much, honestly. Like I'm happy with what I have. My people are great. I don't give a fuck about external people, but it does like, it strikes a chord, that it's like, I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like to feel like this in other aspects of culture, but like, I used to like identify somebody who I might get along with, who might understand me a little bit by like, oh, you have like colored hair, you have gauges, you have tattoos, you're wearing a shirt that I can't read. Now it's like, you have all that, but you're a hashtag basic witch. So it's like, you don't actually have a personality whatsoever. You just saw this shit. Well, let's be clear. The pandemic completely homogenized the world. There's like 10 different types of people at this point now. It's like gone from being like, there are different people all over the place to there are very similar people everywhere. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. I love life too much to care about any of that shit anymore. But know that me 10 years ago is spiteful about it, just like you are.
I just couldn't understand it. Like the amount of effort it must have taken to dislike me based on my, appearance of being more punk rock, more edged out. And then to turn around like as an adult and they go, how did you do that with your hair?
Yeah.
And I'm like, glue.
Keep listening for the next part of this episode. Visit www.whoischristineanyway.com for access to all the social media links and additional podcast episodes. A special thank you goes out to Jesse Zuretti for appearing on this episode. I hope he comes back on soon to continue the conversation. Also, thank you to the audience for listening. It's greatly appreciated.